discussion, we would really appreciate it.
Yes, to be a network of high-performing schools that delivers a world-class educational experience for all Alliance scholars and is one of education's best places to work, our ultimate goal is that 75% or more of our scholars graduate from a four-year college or university.
Thank you, Moises. This aspiration serves as our North Star for what we hope each one of our scholars will achieve. Next, we will move on to agenda item number 2, connection to scholars and community. This is always an exciting part of the meeting. We always start the meeting with hearing from our communities, schools, and scholars. So I'd like to bring back Ms. Salazar, who will introduce this next featured agenda item. Myra?
Thank you, Board Chair Drake. It is very appropriate. We are in March, Women's History Month, because it's my pleasure to introduce 2 Alliance scholars, female Alliance scholars who are demonstrating true leadership and civic engagement, which are 2 things that at Alliance we pride ourselves on working alongside our scholars with. They're going to be sharing some more information and background on the proposed Scholar Bill of Rights before we move to a board vote on that. So without further ado, I introduce Daisy Solis and Audrey Landeros.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, Board Chair Drake. I would like to thank the Alliance Governing Board for inviting us to speak on something that is near and dear to us students. Hello, everyone. My name is Audrey Landeros, and I am the president of Junior State of America, also known as JSA. JSA is a national organization that promotes civic engagement and participation through advocacy, debate, and leadership. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, Collins JSA chapter produced a miracle. That's right. We authored a Scholar Bill of Rights and got the Los Angeles Unified School District to unanimously ratify their first ever Scholar Bill of Rights. Again, a Bill of Rights written by scholars for scholars. Now, over 600,000 students have a Student Bill of Rights due to our Alliance School.
Hello everyone, my name is Daisy Solis. I am the director of the Bill of Rights, and as a matter of fact, that's what we would love to discuss with you today. We would love to get your support, and we want you to vote for all Alliance schools to have a Scholar Bill of Rights. The irony is that scholars got this passed at LAUSD, but not Alliance yet. And that's where hopefully you come in. Our ask is for the Alliance Governing Board to go and approve the Alliance Scholar Bill of Rights resolution to adopt the same Student Bill of Rights for all Alliance scholars. But before we begin, we would love to recognize Board Member Virgil Roberts and Board Member Janet Rodriguez Pack. Thank you so much for meeting with us last month and giving us your blessing on the Scholar Bill.
We would also like to thank Pablo Villavicencio, our CEO of Alliance, for believing in us and our bill. Just to give you a little context, this all started with the Hatch Experience Summit. Mr. Morales, our advisor, took our 2019 JSA president and vice president to a Hatch Experience Summit in Montana, where they were a part of a cohort that consisted of adult change makers and students who were trying to figure out how they could change education for the better. From the 3-day cohort, they came up with the bubble-up approach to education change, making the change come from the students as opposed to the adults. They developed a design producing the Bill of Rights and got it passed with LAUSD with the hope that other districts would do the same.
To your clubbing with students' rights. They came up with this because students had gone through trauma in elementary to middle school years, so they decided to survey students to find out what the challenges were. They surveyed around 600 students at school.
They proceeded by categorizing the different challenges that students endured, and from these categories, the students produced student rights. Ultimately, it was 1 right per category, and they came up with about 15 to 20 rights. They refined the rights and then consulted with Jose Ugarte, a government specialist, on what the next steps were.
They came up with the idea to approach LAUSD District 4 board member Nick Milvoin. He agreed to having a meeting with the students. They met with him, and he got on board with the idea. And he recommended the students to join the school board. He connected the students to the Superintendent Student Advisory Committee for LAUSD. They teamed up with them and reduced the rights further and provided an explanation for each rights. The rights in the current form are due to the collaboration with the advisory committee, although these rights are for the most part word by word on how the students wrote them. Nick and the students both sponsor these rights, and Nick approached other board members to sponsor it as well.
They were in partnership with Junior State of America, receiving endorsements and had over 60 high schools sign a petition. These rights were going to be posted on the LAUSD website, enrollment packets, and posted in at least one visible area. At least 600,000 students are under these rights.
Nobody thought that these rights were going to pass except for the students. But then in the year of 2020 in June, when everyone was thinking of defunding the police, they proposed the Student Bill of Rights and they did it unanimously. However, they tried to keep a low profile since we are a charter school and we didn't want politics getting in our way of our education. We wanted Alliance to pass it last year, but due to the lockdown, we weren't able to.
We would like to emphasize that inequalities in our education system have always been prevalent. The Student Bill of Rights addresses student concerns, and that's what makes this so unique, its purpose. The purpose of empowering student voices to promote social change. The rights were specifically designed to elevate education and empower students to advocate for safe, inspiring, and equitable learning environments. Many of the issues students face in school could be countered if students simply advocate against them, whether it's lack of representation, decision-making, or unfair punishments. Schools need to be held accountable, and awareness is the first step. And that's exactly what the Student Bill of Rights aims to do. But we need your vote to approve an Alliance School Board resolution. Thank you.
Wow, right? If we were just in person, you all can hear the room. You guys are amazing. Thank you for sharing that information. So great to hear from you all. I will hand it back over to Board Chair Drake.
Before we move to a vote, I would like to ask whether there are any board members that have any questions or comments for our guests.
I would just like to say it's so great to see the young ladies. Jeanette and I went out to the school to meet with them. They're extremely thoughtful and intelligent. And as I told Daisy, she had written me a letter, and I thought it came from a faculty member. So I was really impressed with the students, and it made me really pleased to see how mature, how thoughtful they were. And I'm sure they're going to be future leaders in our community for many, many years.
Yeah, I want to echo everything that Virgil said. Audrey and Daisy, it's great to see you guys here today. You acted very quickly on the feedback that we gave you. So you being here today is super special to us, and I'm excited to support you guys with this process.
Then what I would thank you both. That was really impressive and really exciting work you're doing. What I'd like to do now is actually take a vote. Can I hear a motion to approve resolution number 2022-000 to establish the Alliance Scholar Bill of Rights?
I so move approval of the resolution.
I second.
We have a motion from Board Member Roberts and a second from Board Member Heyman. I will now do a roll call of individual board members to record their vote. If you are in favor, say yes. If you are opposed, say no. I vote yes. Board Member Hyman?
Yes.
Board Member Miller is not here today. Board Member Roberts?
Yes.
Board Member Rodriguez-Pack?
Yes.
Board Member Silva?
Yes.
And Myra, have any of the other board members been able to join since we started?
They have not.
All right, then the motion passes unanimously. It is, I want to thank you for that wonderful, wonderful spotlight. It's always great to hear directly from our Alliance Scholars and to see the action you're taking. So thank you so much for joining us.